look, a new Wes Anderson movie. Let's talk about The Phoenician Scheme. I have to be honest with you guys on this one. I have to give a big sigh to The Phoenician Scheme. This movie is not that great in many aspects. So let's get some of the positive aspects of the film out of the way. I think the movie has an incredible cast. I mean, so does every other Wes Anderson film, because I feel like a lot of actors want to work with him because he's just such a creative force, and he gives people something to do that they normally can't do or don't do. And you have the likes of Michael Cera, Riz Ahmed, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Jeffrey Wright, Scarlett Johansson, Benedict Cumberbatch, and they're all good in this film. And I think Benicio del Toro, who's the lead in this film, is a very committed performance. It's just, unfortunately, he's not in a movie that's very entertaining. That's not to say that the film is completely devoid of entertainment. There are some really fun and entertaining moments, particularly one with Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston in a baseball sequence, and then another one with Benedict Cumberbatch and Benicio del Toro kind of playing a cat and mouse chase with guns and bombs. It's kind of fun at the end. What this movie really suffers from is having interesting and well-rounded characters. I didn't really find the characters that compelling. They had stuff to say, but they were really hollow in a sense. Chemistry between the cast just didn't feel all there all the time. I do think the one between Mia Thermopolitan and Benicio del Toro was decent and sweet, but it didn't really add or elevate the film in any meaningful way. What irritated me the most about this film is, yes, it looks and it sounds and it's edited like a Wes Anderson film, and it does have some of its charm, but at the same time, it feels like it's a parody of a Wes Anderson film. It feels like somebody who is trying to imitate his style, and it's diluting into a parody of his films and his style and his type of writing scheme, which at the end of the day feels hollow because it's not being played up for those tongue-in-cheek laughs. It's just playing straight, and you're like, why is this movie not more entertaining? And I think the biggest problem is that the characters themselves aren't that interesting, and I think the story around it isn't that interesting. And it's just this hodgepodge of jumping between little antics to another antic to try and tell a cohesive story that ultimately doesn't add up to much. And you do get like this really fun sequence at the end, but at the same time, why do I have to sit through this length of a film just to get something that I could probably watch a YouTube clip, or they could have made a short of? I will say that it's not a bad movie. There are moments that I had fun and I found the charm, but at the same time, it did feel like very much somebody imitating Wes Anderson's style and failing, because it's not parodying his style and it's not really taking his style seriously either. It's just somewhere in the middle where it's just feels lifeless and ultimately devoid of what makes his movies great.